Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we want to talk about ducks. I know I haven't talked up so much about it, but today we want to talk about ducks. And I want to start by fun fact. What do you know about ducks? Did you know that for ducks to lay eggs, they need more light? Anyway, that was just a fun fact. So today we are digging this area here. Because I want to I want to start with duck farming, and ducks produce one of quite good meat. I mean, like chicken meat, but more of, can I say, more tastier? I don't know if some of you will agree with me, but I like duck meat. So ducks are also called waterfowl because most of the time they are found along rivers, along areas with water, streams, lakes, ponds, and everything like that. So when I started with just some few ducks, I didn't have a pond where they can swim or they can bathe. I had like a basin where I filled the water, and then they used to get in to take a bath inside that. But now that I have about 6 ducks, this is starting to be small to bathe in that space, so I decided to build for them somewhere to stay. I mean, somewhere where they can bathe and, or rather swim. They like swimming in the water. Another thing is that water is quite essential to ducks because they really drink a lot when they're eating. If they don't drink a lot of water, they have like this mucus mucus thing that can, their lungs needs to be watered regularly when they are drinking, when they're feeding, so that they don't get blocked. So it's important for ducks to have water for their health purposes also. And then also we know that for mating, they mate well underwater. So the female goes in the water and then the male goes on top of it for that. So and when they are underwater, they mate better, and the success of their mating is more productive than when they mate on land. So that's why most of the time people who are breeding ducks, they have like water places around. And you know, sometimes they don't need to, if you don't have like if you don't have like a pond, they just have to submerge their head in the water so that it helps because then they drink it, they help their lungs. So for starters, you can start, if you're starting a small, you can start with maybe a basin of water, and then they can dip their head and clear their lungs. But as it grows, they will always need a place where they can mate, where they can dip themselves, because they like to clean themselves also, they like to swim. So that's what we are doing today. I have hope that in the near future I'm gonna have like ducks and goose and all these fowls that I can have on a farm. But for now we are just starting with the what is it called, with the ducks. So let's talk about the importance, the benefits of having a duck, for example. You know, ducks can lay eggs. But before we go to eggs, do you know that ducks can live up to 20 years if maintained well, or rather maintained well, and also of course with species. But ducks can live quite long before dying, and then they give us eggs which you can use to eat, of course. Ducks are very low maintenance. And another thing, if you have a lot of grass and you don't have a mower or you don't have a lawn keeper, then ducks are good lawn maintenance. And then they control pests and diseases. They eat, if you are in a place where there are a lot of snails, you can just have ducks and they will always go and pick the snails for you, and other pests and things that are around. They eat those things. And then ducks poo a lot, So if you plant grass, they eat it, but they also fertilize it so that it grows, it has natural fertilizer, it grows faster. And then of course it produces meat. And other people actually say uses the feathers of the ducks. And I've been told that ducks are quite intelligent. I haven't disciplined mine to understand or to talk to, but ducks can be learned or taught routines so that they can be taught when to go out, where to come back. You can call them when they want to eat. I haven't done that with mine, but I know that ducks are quite intelligent foals. And then on top of that, ducks are quite friendly animals. It's very rare that they go into fight with other animals in the farm. So they are very friendly, they move freely, like mines move freely. But during planting season, we cage them so that they don't go to the farms and dig out the plants that we have planted. So those are the few importance of ducks that I can mention. And as we move along, let's talk about some of the theories or some of the questions that I found along the way. When I started doing duck farming, somebody asked me, "Oh, can you put the ducks together with the chicken?" Yes, you can put ducks together with the chicken. But I noticed one thing is that when the ducks are laying eggs, you cannot touch the eggs with your bare hands. That's something that I learned. So if you mix them with the chicken and both of them are laying eggs, it can become very difficult to know. It can be very tricky to pick eggs from the same place. So actually from the time I started with the few ducks that I started with, I had put them together with the chicken. But now that I'm building this, I have a plan to separate them, because first and foremost, the duck, when they're hatching, ducks takes longer time than the chicken. And if they mix the eggs, we realize that some of the eggs get rotten, because a duck egg is in the place of a chicken egg, and the chicken egg is in the place of a duck egg. And because of the different durations for hatching, we ended up, actually the last season we ended up losing almost 15 eggs. So that's why I decided to build this place, so that the ducks can be on one side, and then for the females that will be laying eggs, they can be at the same place and they can hatch peacefully without mixing with together with the chicken eggs. And another thing I was thinking to say is that ducks are, they like, somebody asked me this thing before I forget. What do I feed the ducks? Actually, for me, I feed the ducks what I feed my chicken. I give them maize, or rather broken maize. I give them the remains of ugali, or rather maize corn that is cooked, the remains of that. I give them greens. I give them azolla. Azolla is the aquatic plant that I talked about earlier. And I give them ochonga. Ochonga is like fish meal. It's a fish meal. So sometimes I mix all of this together and give them, and sometimes I just give them randomly. And most of the time, I allow them to go out to search for worms and to eat grass. And so you find that I don't use so much money in feeding the ducks, because I just give them a little bit portion, just to make sure that they have enough things that they need in their body. But the rest, most of the time, they're out finding their own feeds in the fields. And being that we have a lot of manure and we have a lot of places where we do the decomposition, we have a lot of worms in that place. So all the time when their doors are open, they run to that place and they scavenge for the worms there. So, but I know that in the places where they're swampy, they can eat. Actually, they can eat frogs. They can eat anything that they come out. They eat snails. They can eat rice. They can eat lettuce. They can eat bread. They can eat anything that you give them. Most of the time, they eat. I haven't been told I haven't been told, actually, when I'm thinking about it, I haven't been told what is not so good for ducks to eat up to now. Not yet. But I know somebody mentioned, now that I'm talking about it, somebody mentioned that I should avoid giving them the citrus fruits, something like lemon, lime, grapefruit, oranges, because these one, they interfere with the calcium absorption, and especially for the ones that are laying eggs, and then they produce thinner shells, which makes the eggs very fragile and break easily. So yeah, I think those are the only things that is the only thing that I was warned when I was doing research on one or to feed them. It was just the citrus family. Now I'm really thinking hard as I talk to see if there's something that I'm forgetting. But other than that, I think everything else goes, and duck meat is quite good. I've had a lot of theories when it comes to preparing of the duck meat. What I know is that when you're slaughtering a duck, it has to drain for a longer period of time than the chicken. You know, a chicken you can cut as you warm the water, and then when you're done, you put it and pluck. You know, the process that you will do because I'm talking of when we are in the rural, we don't have machineries for this, so we do everything by hand. But for a duck, if you're going to have it as a meal, you have to prepare early. I think it's best to leave it drain for about 2 to 3 hours when you hang it upside down, so that the blood in the body be drained out completely. And then after that is just the process of feathering out, and that process can be a little bit tricky. Some of the myths I've had in the village is that you should not talk while you're plucking out the feathers because they will regrow. That's not true. The thing is, it has a lot of layers of feathers, so when you remove the ones that are visible, the invisibles comes up, and then you think that they are regrown. But the best thing is just to feather it as you're closer to a grilling place where you can burn some of the baby feathers. Other than that, we were done. After cementing the place, we left it for 7 days for curing, and then we drained the water for curing, and we put new water, and then we introduced our ducks, and they were really enjoying. And as you can see that they're really enjoying. So that's all I can say about ducks. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And thank you so much for watching till the end. And subscribe, like, comment, enjoy. See you next time. Bye bye.